Hey, it's Mr. K, Physics 30, Unit A Review, Question 10. A diagram of a collision between a moving cue ball and an initially stationary 8 ball on a billiards table is given below. The collision of the billiard balls can be considered an isolated system. So what we know is immediately is they've given us the mass, velocity, and momentum of the cue ball before. They told us that the 8 ball was stationary. They told us the angle of the 8 ball. They also told us its mass, velocity, and momentum. Of all these values, and I've seen quite a few mistakes on this one, we can't use velocity for these comparisons. We have to do everything in momentum. It's not velocity that's conserved, it's momentum that's conserved. Okay, now here's how I went about it. They gave me 0.512. I know that that is the net momentum, and therefore it's the hypotenuse of my triangle. They gave me 40 degrees. So using sine and cosine, I was able to solve for the components. Now I know the horizontal and I know the vertical. Okay, now making this connection. I know my initial momentum was 0.72 all eastward. So that means with all my momentum being east, that there's no momentum north or south. So these momentums have to cancel each other out. The north momentum I got from the first one was 3.29. So the south momentum I get for the second has to be 0.329. So that these two things can cancel each other out. Momentum has to be conserved. There cannot be any new momentum in the north or south direction. It all must be east. Secondly, in the east direction, my momentum was 0.72. I know that this east momentum was 0.392. So all I had to do was take 0.72 minus 0.392 and realize that these two have to add up to 0.72. Essentially, this was my initial horizontal momentum. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This one is about 4, meaning if I just take 7 minus 4, I'm going to get my leftover value. In terms of the vertical, or the north and south, I had my upward momentum, 1, 2, 3. That had to be canceled by my downward momentum, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so 0.3 cancels 0.3. 0.328 plus 0.392 equals 0.72. And then from there, it's just asking me for my velocity, not even my direction, which is kind. I found my net by doing a squared plus b squared equals c squared. And now that I know my net momentum, I just had to divide by the mass of the cue ball to figure out its speed. Thanks a lot.